Hey everyone, this is Emarina, and I am back for another commonly asked question in the series that is commonly asked question number 3. And I get asked a lot, how do I motivate students to learn? And I think that's a really interesting question because I don't think people are really ever unmotivated to learn. So I think that reframing that question as how do I help my students rediscover themselves as capable and confident learners? How do I model joyful learning and curiosity for them is a more interesting and more useful way to come into that idea of students don't seem to be interested in what's going on. What could be the cause of that? There's a lot of reasons why students may appear to not be interested. I think that being motivated to learn or not being motivated to learn is an easy thing to go to. And I think that it's not often the truth. I think that part of our work as teachers is to do everything we can to make what we are trying to teach people compelling to them and relevant to them in their lives, and to find out if they don't seem to be interested in what we're doing is to ask them and find out more from them about what would make this more interesting. And that can be really challenging. Like that can be a really hard thing because educational trauma can really lock people down and make them very, very risk avoidant when it comes to asking questions and being curious and wanting to show any even hint of vulnerability in the classroom. I don't really like the word vulnerability, maybe openness or interest. I mean, we know, especially when students are young, they've just come out of high school. In high school, you're not supposed to be interested in learning anything. So when you come into college, it can take a little bit of time for people to get their bearings and say, oh, okay, it's okay for me to be curious. It's okay for me to want to ask questions and want to know more about this. This is what I'm here for, and this is really interesting to me. And it's also helpful for them to find out what isn't interesting to them, because maybe they're motivated to learn, but maybe they're just not super interested in the thing that's being taught at the moment. So this is not to say reframing this question suddenly magically gonna make everybody interested in everything, but it gives teachers a different way to think about it that is not about students being unmotivated, but more about how do we help them get back to that part of themselves that really loves learning and that is really interested and is really focused on what is happening right now. How do I learn this? How is this relevant for me? And I think that's the piece that's really important, is helping those students get reconnected back to that learner part of themselves. And that's true for us too. I mean, I have taught many teachers, and teachers are not very good students a lot of the times for the same reasons. For the same reason, how do I motivate somebody to learn? It can be really hard. It can be really hard to get back in that learning mode when you've been out for a long time. So that's it for today. If you have any questions you want me to answer, please feel free to pop them in the comments. So much. I'll see you next time.